My child, stop for a moment and listen carefully. Do not rush past this message, and do not let your mind wander away from what I am about to say. Open this now before it disappears, because this moment was not placed in your life by accident. You may think you simply came across these words while scrolling through your day, but I tell you the truth. I arranged this moment. I guided your attention here because there is something I need you to hear right now. This is not random. This is not coincidence. This is a divine interruption placed directly in your path. My beloved child, the world around you moves quickly. People scroll past thousands of messages, voices, and distractions every day, rarely stopping long enough to listen to what truly matters. But I am asking you now to pause. Do not skip this moment. Do not allow the noise of life to steal what I have prepared for you today. You may not realize it yet, but this moment is important. It is time-sensitive in ways you cannot see. I have placed this message before your eyes now because your heart has been searching, and the answer you need cannot wait any longer. I know what your days have felt like recently. I know the weight you have been carrying quietly inside your heart. I know the thoughts that have kept you awake at night, and the questions that have followed you through your days. You have been wondering if anyone sees what you are going through. You have wondered if your prayers have truly reached me. Perhaps you have asked, even if only in the silence of your mind, Lord, are you listening? Do you know what I need? My child, I have been listening all along, and that is why I am speaking now. But before we go any further, I want you to do something simple. For a moment, close your eyes. Just for a moment. Do not worry about anything around you right now. Let the noise fade away. Let the rushing thoughts slow down and close your eyes with a quiet understanding that I am here with you. When you close your eyes, I will meet you there. You may wonder what that means. It means that when the distractions of the world fall silent for even a moment, your heart becomes able to hear my voice more clearly. I do not always speak in thunder or spectacle. Often I speak in stillness, in the quiet space where your spirit is open and your heart is listening. When you close your eyes, you are not entering emptiness. You are stepping into a place where my presence is waiting for you. My child, I want to speak directly to your heart today, not to the surface of your thoughts, not to the voice of doubt that sometimes whispers to you, but to the deepest part of you, where your true questions lie. I know the longing that has been growing inside you. I know the hope you have been holding on to. I know the prayers you have spoken even when you felt unsure whether anyone was hearing them. And I want you to know something right now that will change the way you see this moment. I have urgent good news for you today. Yes, my child. Good news. Not empty words, not vague comfort, but real hope that has already begun moving in ways you cannot yet see. The prayers you have spoken have not disappeared into silence. I have heard them. Every whisper of your heart reached me. Every tear that fell carried meaning. Every time you called my name, even when your faith felt small, I was listening. You may not have seen the answers yet, but that does not mean nothing has been happening. While you were waiting, heaven was already moving. While you were wondering if anything would change, I was already arranging what needed to be arranged. There are things unfolding in your life right now that you cannot fully see yet, but they are real, my beloved child. I know that waiting has not been easy for you. There were moments when you thought perhaps nothing would ever change. There were days when hope felt fragile and your patience felt exhausted. But the truth is that even in those moments, you were never forgotten. The movement of heaven does not always happen where human eyes can immediately see it. But today, I want you to know that something is shifting. That is why this message is reaching you now. This is not just another moment in your day. This is an invitation. It is an invitation to listen, to receive, and to remain present long enough to hear what I want to reveal to you. Many people miss their miracles because they leave too early. They scroll past the moment meant for them because doubt whispers that it is not important. They allow distraction to steal the message that was meant to bring hope into their lives. Do not make that mistake now. Do not scroll away. Do not ignore what is happening in this moment. I brought you here because your heart is ready to hear what I am about to say. If you leave too quickly, you may miss the very word that answers the questions you have been carrying. I say this not to frighten you, but because I know how easily the enemy tries to steal what I am giving you. Distraction is one of the simplest ways miracles are missed. So stay here with me for a little longer. Let your heart remain open. Let your mind become still. The world will continue moving around you. But for this moment, I want you to stay where you are. There is something important unfolding between us right now. I am speaking to you personally, not to a crowd, not to a distant audience, but to you. You, the one who opened this message, the one who has been searching for reassurance, the one who has been hoping for a sign. My child, you are not here by accident. I guided you to this moment because I love you, and because the good news I have for you deserves to be heard clearly. Close your eyes again if you need to. Take a slow breath. Feel the quiet for a moment, and know this truth deep within your heart. You were meant to hear this message today. If this message has touched your heart, please support this ministry today. Your generous donation helps us spread God's word, and the Lord will open the windows of heaven and pour out blessings upon you and your family. And what I am about to reveal next will begin to change everything. My beloved child, listen closely to what I am about to say, because this moment carries more meaning than you may realize. You might think that you simply came across this message by chance, that you happened to open it while scrolling through your day, or that it appeared before you without any deeper reason. But I want you to understand something that your heart needs to hear clearly right now. This moment is not random. You are not here by accident. I guided you here for a reason. Before your eyes ever saw these words, before your mind even decided to open this message, I already knew this moment would happen. I knew the exact time you would arrive here. I knew the thoughts you would be carrying in your heart when you began reading. I knew the questions you have been asking, the quiet worries that have been sitting inside your mind, and the longing that has been growing deep within your spirit. And because I know you so completely, I arranged this moment so that you would hear what you need to hear right now. You may think that life is full of random encounters and accidental moments. But my child, when it comes to you, I am involved in more of your story than you realize. I see the paths you walk, the choices you make, and even the small moments when you pause to look for something that brings peace to your heart. Many of the moments you think are ordinary are actually part of a quiet guidance that I place over your life. I do not always guide you with loud signs or overwhelming displays. Often, I guide you gently through small movements, subtle nudges, and quiet impressions within your heart. The reason you opened this message today is not simply because it appeared in front of you. It is because something inside your spirit recognized that you needed to be here. Your mind may not have understood why, but your spirit felt the pull to pause and listen. That pull did not come from coincidence. It came from the quiet way I lead those whom I love. My beloved child, there are moments in your life when you feel as though you are searching for answers. You may not even be able to explain what you are searching for. Sometimes it is peace. Sometimes it is reassurance. Sometimes it is simply the hope that someone sees the struggles you are carrying. In those moments of searching, your heart begins reaching toward me, even when you are not fully aware of it. And when your heart reaches toward me, I respond. That is why you are here now. You may have thought that you were simply passing time, that you were scrolling through messages without expectation. But I was guiding your steps, even in that simple action. I saw the exact moment when your attention paused. I saw the instant when your eyes settled on these words, and I knew that this was the moment you needed to hear my voice. My child, I want you to understand how carefully your life is held in my hands. Nothing about you is insignificant to me. I know the small details of your life just as deeply as the large ones. I see the days when your heart feels hopeful and the days when it feels tired. I see the questions that remain unanswered and the quiet prayers you speak when no one else is around. Even when you feel unnoticed by the world, you are never unnoticed by me. The reason I guided you here is because your heart has been carrying something heavy. You may have tried to hide it behind a smile or push it aside while you continue with your responsibilities. But I see what others cannot see. I know the thoughts that come to you late at night when the world becomes quiet. I know the moments when you wonder if things will ever change, when you question whether the path ahead will become clearer. And because I know these things, I brought you here today so that you would hear this truth. You are not walking alone through this season of your life. My beloved child, the timing of this moment matters. You are reading these words now because your heart is ready to receive what I want to speak into your life. If you had encountered this message at another time, you may not have understood it in the same way. But today, in this exact moment, your spirit is open in a way that allows my words to reach deeper inside you. I arranged the timing carefully. I saw the struggles that have been building in your heart. I saw the questions that have been forming within your thoughts. I saw the moments when you quietly asked for guidance, even if you did not use many words. And because I heard those silent prayers, I prepared this moment as part of my answer to you. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because I love you enough to reach into your day and remind you that I am present in your life. Please support our channel. Our mission is to bring peace, happiness, and devotion to God into your life. Sometimes you may feel as though your life is unfolding without clear direction, as though you are simply moving from one day to the next without knowing exactly where you are being led. But my child, I want you to know that even when you cannot see the path clearly, I am still guiding your steps. The same way I guided you to this message, the same way I guide many other moments in your life. I open doors quietly. I place people in your path. I lead your attention toward things that your heart needs at exactly the right time. My guidance is often gentle, but it is never absent. You may not always recognize it immediately, but when you look back on your life one day, you will see how many moments were carefully arranged to lead you where you needed to go. This moment is one of those moments. You are here because I wanted you to pause long enough to hear me speak directly to you. My beloved child, do not dismiss this moment as something small. What you are experiencing right now is part of a deeper connection between your heart and mine. I am reminding you that I am near. I am reminding you that I am involved in your life more than you realize. Even when you feel uncertain about the future, I know exactly where your path is leading. Even when your heart feels tired from waiting, I am still working in ways that you cannot yet see. The same care that guided you to this message is the same care that continues to guide your life. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are being led. Your spirit recognized the moment I prepared for you today, and that is why you stopped here. That quiet pull you felt to open this message was not random curiosity. It was your heart responding to my presence. And now that you are here, I want you to stay for a little longer and listen carefully. Because the reason I guided you here goes beyond simply reminding you that I am near. There is something more I want to reveal to you. Something that will bring clarity and hope into the place where you have been searching for answers. So remain here with me, my beloved child. Let your heart stay open and your mind become still. This moment was prepared for you, and what I am about to speak next will begin to unfold the reason why I guided you here today. My beloved child, come closer and listen with the deepest part of your heart, because what I'm about to tell you is something you have wondered about many times. There were moments when you felt as if your voice disappeared into silence, as if the prayers you whispered late at night faded into the darkness without reaching anyone. There were nights when you looked up toward heaven and asked quietly, "Lord, do you hear me?" You spoke those words not with pride, but with a heart that was tired, with a spirit that had been carrying more weight than you could easily explain. I want you to understand something clearly now. I have heard your quiet cry. Every prayer you spoke reached me. Every whisper that left your lips traveled farther than you imagined. Even the prayers that never became words, the ones that lived only inside your heart, were heard. I know that sometimes your prayers did not sound like long speeches or beautiful sentences. Sometimes they were simply a few broken words spoken through tears. Sometimes they were only a sigh, a moment of silence, where your heart was crying, even though your mouth said nothing. But my child, those moments were not invisible to me. There were nights when you cried in private, when you believed no one could see the tears falling from your eyes. You may have tried to hide those tears, even from the people around you. During the day, you carried on with your responsibilities, speaking normally, smiling when you had to, doing your best to appear strong. But when the quiet hours arrived and you were finally alone, the emotions you had been holding back began to rise to the surface. You remember those nights, do you not? The room was quiet, and your thoughts began to grow louder. Questions started moving through your mind, one after another. You wondered why certain situations had become so difficult. You wondered why the answers you hoped for had not yet appeared. Sometimes, the heaviness in your heart felt so strong that you did not even know how to pray properly. All you could do was sit in silence, feeling overwhelmed, hoping somehow that I would still understand what your heart was trying to say. My beloved child, I understood every moment. I saw you when you wiped your tears away quickly, thinking that no one was watching. I saw you when your shoulders felt heavy from carrying worries you did not want to share with anyone else. I saw the moments when your voice trembled as you whispered my name, asking me quietly for help because you did not know where else to turn. Those moments mattered to me more than you realize. The world often teaches people to hide their weakness, to pretend that everything is fine, even when their hearts feel broken inside. But when you came to me in your quiet moments, when your heart was honest and open even in its pain, those were the moments when your spirit was speaking to me most clearly. You may have asked questions like, "Lord, why does life feel so heavy right now?" Or, "Lord, will things ever change?" Perhaps you wondered if I truly saw what you were going through. You may even have wondered if your prayers were too small or too insignificant to reach heaven. But my child, not one of those prayers was lost. Every single one reached me. When you cried in private, heaven noticed. When you asked for help, heaven listened. When you felt overwhelmed and didn't know how to keep going, I was there beside you, even though you could not see me. There were moments when you felt as if you were standing alone in a storm. The circumstances around you seemed confusing, and the future ahead looked uncertain. You tried to remain strong, but inside you felt tired. You wondered how much longer you could carry the weight of everything that was happening in your life. My beloved child, I saw that struggle. I saw the courage it took for you to keep going, even when your heart felt weary. I saw the strength you showed even when your faith felt fragile. I saw the way you continued to hope, even in the moments when hope seemed difficult to hold on to. Sometimes you believed that your prayers were too quiet to be heard. But let me tell you something that your heart needs to understand deeply. I do not measure prayers by how loud they are or how many words they contain. I listen to the sincerity of the heart. I hear the prayers spoken through tears just as clearly as the prayers spoken through confident voices. When your heart cried out, I heard you. When you whispered my name in the darkness, I heard you. When you asked for help with a trembling voice, I heard you. I heard you even when you could not form words at all, and your heart simply ached in silence. I still heard you. You must understand that heaven is never deaf to the cries of a sincere heart. The prayers you thought were hidden were not hidden from me. They rose up like a gentle call that reached my heart immediately. My child, there were also moments when you felt overwhelmed by the weight of your circumstances. Problems seemed to gather all at once, and your mind struggled to find peace. You tried to solve things, to plan your way forward, but sometimes the situation felt larger than your ability to control it. In those moments, you turned toward me, even if it was only for a brief second. Perhaps you simply said, "Lord, please help me." Perhaps you only closed your eyes for a moment and hoped that somehow I would intervene. I want you to know that I heard those prayers too. Not only did I hear them, but I cared about them deeply. Every time your heart reached toward me, I responded with love. Sometimes my response came in ways you did not immediately recognize. Sometimes it came through unexpected peace that touched your heart for a moment. Sometimes it came through strength that helped you continue even when you felt weak. My beloved child, you may not always see the answers right away, but that does not mean I am not working. The movement of heaven does not always appear instantly before human eyes. Sometimes it begins quietly unfolding step by step until the moment arrives when you can see clearly what I have been doing. But one truth remains certain above everything else. Your prayers were heard. Your quiet cries were not ignored. Your tears were not wasted. Every moment you reached toward me mattered. I want you to feel comfort in this truth today. You are not invisible. Your struggles are not unnoticed. The things that weigh on your heart are important to me because you are important to me. You never had to shout for my attention. Your quietest whisper was enough. Even now, as you listen to these words, I am still near to you. I still see the thoughts moving through your mind. I still understand the emotions that sometimes feel difficult to explain. And I still care deeply about every part of your life. My beloved child, heaven heard your quiet cry. And heaven is still listening. Every prayer you whispered has been heard. Now, as an act of faith, support this channel with a donation. As you give, God will protect your home from every storm and turn your situation around. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about something that has been quietly happening inside your life for a long time. There were days when you woke up already feeling tired, not just in your body, but deep within your spirit. You may have wondered why your heart felt heavy, even when nothing obvious had happened that day. You tried to push through your responsibilities, tried to remain hopeful, tried to keep moving forward. Yet there was a weight inside you that did not easily lift. Sometimes you asked yourself, why do I feel so drained? Why does my faith feel so tired? My child, the reason you felt that way is because you were not only dealing with ordinary problems. You were standing in the middle of a spiritual battle, even if you did not fully recognize it at the time. There are moments in life when the struggles you face are not only physical or emotional. There are moments when unseen forces attempt to discourage your spirit, to weaken your faith, and to fill your mind with thoughts that slowly steal your hope. The enemy saw the light that lives inside you. He saw the faith that has been growing in your heart. And he knew that if that faith continued to grow, it would lead you into the purpose I prepared for your life. Because of that, he began trying to discourage you in quiet ways. His goal was not always to destroy you suddenly. Often his plan was much slower and more subtle. He wanted to exhaust you. He wanted to fill your mind with doubt. He wanted you to feel so tired that you would eventually stop believing that anything good was still waiting ahead for you. My beloved child, that is why you experienced so many moments of doubt. Doubt does not always appear loudly. Sometimes it slips quietly into your thoughts like a whisper. It tells you that maybe your prayers are not working. It tells you that maybe things will never change. It tells you that perhaps you have been hoping for too much. These thoughts can repeat themselves again and again until your heart begins to feel uncertain. There were days when you questioned whether you were strong enough to keep believing. You looked at the challenges in front of you and wondered if your faith was too small. Sometimes you even questioned whether I was truly working in your life. Those thoughts did not come from me, my child. They were part of the battle happening around your spirit. The enemy knows that if he can weaken your hope, he can slow down your progress. If he can make you believe that nothing will change, he can cause you to stop expecting miracles. That is why he tried to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. But even during those moments when doubt appeared, your heart did not completely turn away from me. Something inside you kept reaching for truth, even when your thoughts felt confused. Fear also tried to surround your heart. Fear has a way of making problems appear larger than they truly are. It whispers that the future is uncertain, that things may fall apart, that you may not be able to handle what lies ahead. Fear attempts to paralyze your spirit so that you hesitate instead of moving forward with courage. You may remember the times when fear kept you awake at night. Your mind imagined possibilities that had not even happened yet. You wondered about situations that were still far away in the future. The enemy often uses fear to create storms inside the mind storms that make it difficult to see clearly. My beloved child, I saw those moments when fear tried to overwhelm you. I saw the nights when your thoughts kept racing and your heart struggled to find peace. I saw the way you tried to calm yourself sometimes, repeating small prayers, sometimes simply asking me quietly to help you feel safe again. And I was there with you. Even when your thoughts were confused and your emotions felt fragile, I remained beside you. The enemy may have tried to shake your confidence, but he could not remove my presence from your life. There was also another weight you carried during this season: emotional exhaustion. When someone fights many battles at the same time, their spirit can become tired. You faced challenges that required patience, strength, and endurance. You tried to remain strong for others. You tried to keep your responsibilities moving forward. Yet inside your heart, you sometimes felt like you had little energy left. My child, emotional exhaustion often appears when someone has been standing in spiritual battle for a long time. It is not a sign of weakness. It is simply the result of carrying many burdens without fully understanding why they appeared all at once. There were moments when you felt like giving up, not in dramatic ways, but in quiet thoughts, where you wondered if continuing to hope was worth the effort. You asked yourself if it might be easier to simply stop expecting anything good to happen. The enemy wanted you to reach that point. His goal was not only to create problems in your life, but to make you lose hope. If he could make you stop believing, he believed he could stop the future I prepared for you. But my beloved child, Tuatork, he underestimated something important. He underestimated the strength of the faith I placed inside your heart. Even when you felt spiritually tired, Even when doubt and fear surrounded your thoughts, something inside you continued reaching for me. You may not have felt strong, but you kept praying. You may not have understood everything that was happening, but you still listened for my voice. That quiet faith inside you was stronger than the enemy expected. You did not give up. Even when you felt tired, you kept going. Even when doubt whispered, you continued searching for truth. Even when fear tried to overwhelm you, you still called my name, my beloved child. That perseverance is powerful. Spiritual battles are not always visible, but they are real. The enemy wanted to discourage you so deeply that you would lose hope in the future I have prepared for you. But he could not succeed because my presence had been protecting you, even when you did not see it clearly. The exhaustion you felt was not meaningless. It was evidence that you had been fighting battles in your spirit. And the fact that you are still here, still listening, still searching for my voice, means that the enemy did not win. Now I want you to understand something important. The spiritual battle you have been facing is not the end of your story. It is part of a process that is strengthening your faith. Every challenge you have faced has been teaching your spirit how to rely on me more deeply. Every moment when doubt appeared has been teaching you how to recognize truth more clearly. You may have felt tired, but your spirit was growing stronger. You may have felt discouraged, but your faith was being refined. You may have felt surrounded by darkness, but the light inside you never disappeared. My beloved child, the enemy wanted you to lose hope, but he failed. Your heart is still open. Your spirit is still listening, and your faith is still alive. That means the battle has not defeated you. And now that you understand what has been happening, you will begin to see your life with clearer eyes. The spiritual warfare that tried to exhaust you will no longer control your thoughts the same way, because now you know the truth. You were never fighting alone. You have fought many unseen battles. Honor God today by sowing a seed of faith through your donation. The Lord promises to rebuke the devourer for your sake and shield your loved ones from harm. My beloved child, now listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you carries the hope your heart has been waiting for. For a long time, you have walked through uncertainty, through questions, through moments when it felt like nothing around you was changing. You prayed and waited. You hoped and watched. Sometimes you wondered if anything was moving at all. But today, I want you to hear something clearly from my heart to yours. I have good news for you today. Yes, my child, good news. Not the kind of empty promise that fades away with time, but real good news that has already begun to unfold around your life. You may not see the full picture yet, but I see it clearly. I know the doors that are about to open before you. I know the answers that are already forming in ways you cannot yet see. I know the help that is quietly moving toward you even now. For a long time, you have been standing in a place of waiting. Waiting can feel lonely, could it not? It can feel like standing in a quiet room where nothing seems to move. You look ahead and see no sign of change. You look behind and remember the prayers you spoke weeks or months ago. You ask yourself if the moment of breakthrough will ever arrive. My child, the waiting season is not the end of your story. It is the place where preparation happens. While you were waiting, I was working. While you were wondering if anything was changing, I was arranging what needed to be arranged. There are things happening in your life right now that you cannot yet see with your eyes, but they are real. I know you have felt discouraged at times. There were days when you wondered if your situation would ever shift. You tried to remain patient, but hope felt fragile in those moments. I saw every one of those moments. I saw the courage it took for you to keep believing even when nothing seemed to move. And now I want you to know, that change is closer than you think. The good news I bring you today is that your situation is not frozen. The doors you believed were closed forever are not permanently shut. I am a God who opens doors no one else can open. When I move, circumstances change. When I speak, paths appear where there once seemed to be none. There are doors in front of you that you cannot yet see clearly. Some of those doors will open through opportunities you did not expect. Others will open through people I place in your path at exactly the right time. You may have been looking in one direction believing the answer would come from there, but my child, sometimes I choose a different path, one you never imagined, so that when the door opens, you will know it came from me. I see the needs in your life. I see the areas where you have been searching for answers. Some of your questions are about your future. Some are about the situations you face right now. You have been asking for clarity, for help, for a sign that things are going to move forward again. The good news is that answers are coming. Not every answer arrives in the way people expect. Sometimes the answer comes as new understanding inside your heart. Sometimes it comes through a conversation that changes your direction. Sometimes it comes through an opportunity that appears, suddenly opening a path you had not considered before. But when my answers arrive, they carry peace with them. They bring clarity where confusion once lived. They bring hope where discouragement once stood. My beloved child, I know there were moments when you believed you had to face everything alone. You looked around and wondered who would help you carry the burdens you were facing. You tried to solve things with your own strength, but some situations felt too large for you to control. That is why I want you to hear this good news clearly. Help is on the way. Good news is coming to your life. Partner with this ministry through a generous donation and watch God open doors no man can shut, bring breakthroughs, and bless your family with peace and provision. You may not yet know the people who will support you in the next chapter of your life. But I know them. I know where they are. I know the moment when your paths will cross. I know how the conversations will unfold and how the support you need will appear. Sometimes the help comes quietly. It may appear in a simple conversation or an unexpected opportunity. Sometimes it arrives through someone who understands your situation better than you expected. Sometimes it comes through a door opening that changes the direction of your life in ways you did not imagine. But when help comes from my hand, it arrives at the right time. You may feel excitement beginning to rise in your heart as you hear these words. That excitement is not misplaced. Hope is returning because your spirit recognizes the truth being spoken to you. The season you have been walking through is shifting. I want you to imagine something for a moment, my child. Imagine standing in a hallway where every door appears closed. You walk forward trying one door after another, but nothing opens. Eventually, you begin to feel tired. You begin to wonder if any door will ever open again. But then suddenly, one door unlocks. Not because you forced it open, not because you found the perfect key, but because I opened it. If you believe God is speaking to you right now, respond with faith. Support this channel with your best donation. As you give, the Lord will command blessings upon your life, protect you from danger, and grant you victory in every area. Amen.